Okay, this is the Youth Shack in Darwin, Australia. The pool is open at the oh my gosh, I can't even talk. The Youth Shack. These things are all over the city. These little scooters, like they are in Townsville. If you're traveling here, one of the things that they have is they have a job table, so you can apply for jobs right here if you're here on a working holiday in Darwin. And working holiday, for those of you that don't know, are many people travel here from around the world, and they get free food and accommodation for doing, I think it's like 3 or 4 hours a day of work in different areas of hospitality, housekeeping, boats. There's a website called HelpX where you can also learn more about this. There's another website called Woofing, which is working on organic farms. Some people work on the farms and do farm work. The Youth Shack in Darwin also, this is the main drag here, and as you can see, we're right across from the Crocodile Cove, a Thai restaurant, and then right down here you'll see Coles within walking distance. Looks like on Sundays they have Saucy Sundays here at the Youth Shack. This is the place where you can apply for jobs when you get here in Darwin. There's lots of jobs, so if you're backpacking your way through Darwin, this is a great service. By the way, I haven't seen this at a lot of the hostels. Okay, this is the entrance to the hostel. Okay, here's the ground view of the pool, and it looks like on Saucy Sundays, it looks like they've got a DJ here. Here's the laundry facilities here. What I like about the laundry facilities is you can use your credit card to pay, which is nice. Also, they usually have places where you can wash things by hand and save a little money there. Ironing. This is good. $1 for powder at the reception. These are like little Bali huts. Here's a view from the other side of the pool and the deck. Okay, Joe. When we come back, if you come here, this is going to be your place. $5 wet pussy shots, $10 espresso martinis, and $12 cocktails. This is for you, Joe, if you watch this. Joe from Guangzhou, we're talking to you. Okay, I'm not getting you in. There we go. I just want to stop here. Good morning from the Youth Shack in Darwin, Australia. And here we have Mr. George. We're sitting here ready to check in, and we're overlooking the swimming pool at the Youth Shack Hostel. If you're in Darwin, so far so good. I'm going to do a little bit of a video tour so you can see what happens here. This is supposed to be one of the more party animal kind of hostels. There is a sun deck up on top, and then we checked in early here, which was nice. They let us put our kitchen supplies away, and we are going to soon be enjoying this nice swimming pool here before another trip to the lagoon. They have decks here. It looks like they have a lot of activities that go on. And this is what's on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So again, this is the Youth Shack in Darwin, Australia. This is the common area or the hangout space. You can see George is enjoying the pool. I think so far, I haven't been in the room, I think so far I like, hello, where are you guys from?
Philippines.
Oh, ¿cómo está acá? Balut boy. Oh, we're from Melbourne too.
Oh, yeah?
Going back to the cold.
Yeah, nice.
Nice to meet you.
You too.
Okay. Okay, this is one of the things we like about staying at hostels is we like meeting people from around the world. We notice that it's most likely a younger crowd. There are sometimes people that are our age here, but we didn't stay here at the beginning part of our stay because of the reviews for it being really loud, and we needed just a little bit of break from the loudness. But when we come back, I think this will be our place of residence based on what we think of the room. Okay, I'm going to go up to the sun deck now, and this looks like a really cool hangout. I don't know if my friend Johannes will like this, but there's a place here to hang all of your clothes when you wash, especially if you just bring one 7-kilo backpack, which is only 15 pounds for the Americans watching this. But there's a lot of space. If you're going to travel to Australia, I recommend Hostel travel. It's a lot less expensive, and a lot more adventures besides just the regular tourist traps. Here's the view up here from the pool. Nice. Okay. We like a nice pool, that's for sure. Even though walking to the lagoon from here is 15 minutes and Coles is right across the street, that makes it convenient. Okay, this is a little hangout area here in the shade, which you need that here in Darwin. And I'm going to take you to the kitchen next. Okay, the Youth Shack, Darwin, Australia is where we are right now at a hostel. I'm not sure, I think the double rooms are around 60 for a double with shared bathroom. And I think, I'm not sure how much if you're a younger person and you like the bunk bed option, I'm not sure. They're usually around anywhere from $15 to $35 for a night. Cool lighting here. I also like the way at check-in on how they give you a basket and you labeled it for the kitchen. Just like the global backpackers in Cairns, I like the number of walk-in fridges here. They have less cooking area here than but a little bit more than some hostels, but a little bit less. It looks like a clean kitchen. How are you guys doing? Good? Where are you from?
England.
Okay, we have a guy from England here. And where are you from?
England.
England too. I've been meeting a lot of Germans and people from England, and of course people from Melbourne getting away from the cold. I like this. This is a great idea if you're watching at Global Backpackers in Cairns. I like how when you check in, they give you the basket and they give you a rubber band and you immediately write your name on the label. I like these baskets, are really nice. I know you have nice cupboards there. Again, I liked everything about this kitchen so far. I haven't cooked here, but we'll see tonight.
We had a juicer, but it broke it yesterday.
Say that again?
We had a juicer, but it broke it yesterday.
Oh, you broke it.
No, I didn't. Mine, someone else broke it.
Oh, so you had a juicer here. Wow, that's good. That's good for us juicers. I like juicing when I'm on holiday.
We did have a freezer, but they got rid of it.
Oh, they had a freezer, but that's gone.
Yeah, they gave us another fridge.
I noticed that there's a really nice kitchen here. It's nice and clean. I'm usually cleaning the kitchen when we're at these hostels.
Yeah, no, it gets cleaned twice a day.
Yeah, nice. And a lot of counter space to work on. Here's your kitchen utensils. I'm making this video mainly for my friends in America that have never traveled in a hostel and are unfamiliar with this. They even have an air fryer here. That's cool, from Kmart. That one works pretty good. They have a toaster oven. Oh, 2 air fryers. And they also have a microwave.
3 air fryers.
Oh, this is an air fryer too.
Air fryer, another one.
Oh,
Fancy,
amazing.
yeah.
Fancy.
They even got a rotisserie air fryer.
Oh, great. Oh, I like that. I'm coming back here in another month. Rice cookers, that's important when you're on holiday and you like to cook. A lot of pans for cooking. And so far, so good. I love the sink. Yeah, they've got 2 of these to wash your produce. This is really nice. And a nice view from the kitchen into the pool. Oh yeah. Okay, George is taking care of the accommodation check-in process, and he just got back, and I was just explaining to him on how they have 3 air fryers here, which is real convenient for a lot of people trying to cut back on the oil content that they're eating. Again, nice kitchen, very tidy. They clean it twice a day. And so far, so good. I'm going to give this kitchen a 9 out of 10 for cleanliness, for organization, and everything else. So if you're here in Darwin, check it out. Coming to the room soon.
The business model is simple. Backpackers are like hungry dogs to
Yes.
free food.
Yes.
Cheap food, backpackers go. You look around, there's no alcohol signs everywhere because it's a licensed venue. So if they offer food basically at cost, and they do a different night every night, you know, burger night, parma night, chicken night, then if they get 100, the current occupancy is 130 guests, if they get 100 of those, they make a small profit on all the food, then the average backpacker will knock back about 4 or 5 beers. $5 profit a beer, even if it's discount beer, then that's 5 beers per person times 100. So bang, you've just knocked out $5,000 profit just by offering almost cost price food.
Wow, you seem like you're a seasoned hostel, either owner or manager or...
I've got a guest house in the Philippines,
Yes.
but as a businessman, I mean, it's a no-brainer. If you can pick up on your revenue, offer free food, and you've got captive guests, and therefore captive business.
Wow, that's a great idea. We have a property in Melbourne, and I've been wanting my husband to open it up because we have free food, like we have fruit trees and produce every month and a lot of accommodation. So who knows, this might be our next chapter, a hostel at our house. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess it depends on your target market. Here, obviously, it's very easy to capture backpackers, and backpackers are very easy to identify their wants and needs. And that is cheap food, cheap accommodation, cheap alcohol.
Have you always lived in the Philippines, or were you originally...
Now, I was as an engineer consulting around Europe, and then Middle East and Africa. Spent about 15 years in Dubai. Moved to the Philippines about 3 years ago. Set up a accommodation guest house there, and I got a few other businesses there.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
This is one of the things I like about staying at hostels rather than the Hilton or the Hyatt. I like meeting people like my new friend. And I forgot to ask your name.
Ben.
Ben?
Ben.
And this is Ben, my new friend. I like, because strangers are just friends you haven't met yet. And I like meeting people. I like learning new things, new recipes. And you certainly have a lot of wisdom, and it was great picking your brain, Ben. Anything else you want to say?
Just that, like, I mean, I can afford it, saying that, I think it's a waste of money. If you come to a backpackers, you'll want to find the best bars. All the backpackers already know the best locations, what's good and what's just marketing hype. Get to meet interesting people. Once I was in Athens, I was watching a blood moon set from the rooftop in Athens, over the mountains, and I ended up chatting to this guy who's a professor from Qatar, and it turns out he's the main guest for anything that goes on political throughout Middle East and Europe, and we've been mates ever since, and that was just a chance finding having a beer on the rooftop.
That is so.
And that happens every time that you go to a backpacker, so why waste money on hotels? You never meet anyone, and you waste money.
You are really a kindred spirit. Just by what you're saying, you have a lot of wisdom, and I appreciate you sharing all that wisdom with us on our channel.
No worries.
Okay, thank you.
Cool. All right, cheers. The history, but if you look at backpacking, it's fundamentally South Africans, English, Germans, Aussies and Kiwis, the predominant cultures. In England it started with a gap year, post-university. In Australia it's just explore the world, same with the Kiwis. And Saffers, they just want to get the hell out of South Africa. And a chance to work and explore the world. So I think the unique thing about Australia is the environment. We've just perfected it. Get the costs low. Backpackers, we've got organised by the government. They can get an extended visa if they go and work in the rural areas. So it helps the farmers with the fruit picking, where they can't afford to hire full-time workers, so it's seasonal work. So the backpackers go and do a few months of seasonal work on the farms, get up some cash, and then bugger off. And then you get places like this where you get your perfect mix of cheap food, cheap accommodation, you get your barbecues, you can go out, catch fish, bring it back, cook it up. You've got all the things you want, such as the chance to stay lasering the pool, at the same time party your ass off at home. So, and if you have a look at all the marketing material now, this place is all about party, party, party. So, whether you go to Townsville, Cairns, and I know it's probably not politically correct, but I remember one time I was in Cairns to go diving on the Great Barrier Reef, and I was just sitting down and having a beer. And of course I'm a different age group to all the backpackers. And I'm sitting there laughing my ass off because they actually went and got one of those blow-up pools, filled it with jelly, and I thought, they're not going to do this, surely, And this is only about 10 years ago, so, and the political correctness kicked in here in a major way by then. Look, they can't be doing this. So anyway, they just got the backpacker girls to volunteer to do the jelly wrestling. And I'm sitting there going, well, no. and then, of course, these girls know that the other girl is going to try and rip their top off as soon as possible. So they go even harder and more aggressive, just trying to rip each other's bikinis off. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen. And you're not laughing your ass off because you want to see some naked girls. It's just crazy watching this. And then they just do all sorts of events like this.
Yes.
And they just make it all about fun. So, I think Australia has perfected the art of backpacking for sure.
I think in my experience, which is very limited, they have perfected this, and I'm just encouraging friends that want to travel to Australia and other countries to open up their options, open up their eyes to see more. Travel the world, not only in the destination, but travel the world in hostels.
You're going to do it smart. So Australia, a lot of Australians who live here, they've experienced over the last 10 years what we call scope creep or price gouging. Now, if you actually look at it, the farmers over the last 10 years haven't earned any more than what they were paid 10 years ago. Look at the price of oil, or you can look at the oil index. All the excuses for why things are 400% more expensive in Australia now than they were 10 years ago, it's got nothing to do with inflation. It's all about price gouging. So, a good business is going to be making 25-30% pure margin after all costs. What you find is a lot of businesses in Australia now are price gouging, and it's all around price elasticity. If the customers don't decrease when they increase the price, then bring up the price. So there's a lot of businesses in Australia are running on 65-70% profit, and Australians who don't understand basic economics, they just go, it's expensive. In fact, if you're smart and you're traveling around Australia, you don't waste money on anything. for example, you can optimise how you travel with regards to whether you use a scooter or whether you actually rent a bike. For lunch, never go to a cafe unless you really want a cafe. You go to the supermarket, you buy a bread roll, some ham, some cheese, tomato, you go and sit in the park, cut up your tomato with a pocket knife, bang, you've got a meal for $1.50 that would in the cafe cost you $40, right? So yeah, it's all about smart, maximising how far you can go with the buck. So yeah, Australia can be crazy expensive. Like I came here and I was spending once probably about $5,000 in a month, which is insane. But I wasn't in the mode to keep prices down because of the activity I was doing. But if you're smart, yeah, you don't pay $150 to go driving. You can work out ways such as find a local. He's got some mates, they've got some tanks, and you get them to take you out, and you buy them lunch. So now it's cost you a lunch $20 instead of $200.
Yes,
so there's always a way if you actually take time to think about how you're going to do it.
Yeah, and if you're a person that likes to make connections and everything, a lot of times in the resorts, you find people that are kindred spirits that want to do the same thing. And I think at our last trip, there were like 4 of us, and we all went up to Cape Tribulation together, rented a car all together. So it's a great way, like he said, to save money so that you can make your holiday, instead of your holiday being 1 month, your holiday can be 6 months.
Oh, easy.
And you can still create that 5-6 star atmosphere by just being very
I'd say frugal and inventive.
Inventive, that's a good word.
Yeah, so like here, you pay for the expensive brochure tours, or do you actually, like once I went to an island in Greece, and I just went down to the fishing port, found out what time the fishermen go out. The friend of the fisherman, I said to him, mate, if I buy a few beers, can I come out and I'll be free labour for you for the day? So I got to fish for free, I got to keep my fish, and it cost me 2 beers.
This is great. My husband needs to pick your brain because he's Greek, so he speaks fluent Greek, and we have not traveled there, and we would like to do hostel life in Greece either this winter in Australia or next year. So we just heard that Greece opened up to the unvaxxed, and we're looking into maybe possibly going there. So I would love to have him pick your brain.
Yeah. Look, I'd say one thing about Europe. I was living in the UK for a while and I was consulting there. And each year I do a different solo motorbike tour, Spain 1 year, Germany 1 year, France 1 year, etc. And always pick the end of the tourist season. You pay half the amount, there's no people. Sorry to all the Americans out there, but like once I was in Florence, and the day that the tourist season started, so I arrived the day before and it was just nice, beautiful, plain and quiet. And literally the trains arrived and the planes the next day, and it was shoulder to shoulder on the roads, on the sidewalks, shoulder to shoulder like this. God damn, what a hell of a church! And it lost all attractiveness. We packed our bags and we left. So October is the time to hit Europe.
Okay.
It's not super hot like in Italy or in Greece. Temperatures calm down. There's no people, and food's cheap, beer's cheap, easy accommodation to find.
Do you have a favorite backpacker resort that you can think of in Athens that comes to mind?
Yeah, the one where I met that professor, but I got no idea.
I know, I forget the names too. I'm just like you. Well, anyway, I'm going to end this video, and thank you so much for sharing your wisdom, your insight, and I'm sure George, my other half, will enjoy picking your brain. Thank you, Ben.
Just on that note, on the train from the airport to that hostel in Athens, one of the travellers right beside me put his bag over. He had his pocket picked, lost his passport and his wallet in a split second. And that was 5 minutes out of the airport. So pickpockets in Athens, major.
Okay. Watch out for those pickpockets. Thank you.
Have a great day.
Thank you there, Ben. Okay, I'm going to come back and do the room in just a few seconds as soon as we check in. We got here early.